Hello. Hi, how do you know? I am pulling in right now, ladies and gentlemen. She needs no introduction. LYNN.
Hello, Miss Heidi. How are you?
I'm good. How are you? It worked.
Good. Yeah. Give the audio a minute. It's going out here for a quick second, but maybe it'll catch up.
Oh, catching up with me? Shoot. Is it on now? Hello. Okay, good.
Now
Thank you for playing. Thank you for coming and playing. I've missed you. I love chit-chatting with you. And I'm kind of excited to disclose a few things for some peeps. It's kind of like we're building something really cool, and I thought we could share. But more than anything, I think we're galactic pals. I know we're galactic pals.
I do know we are galactic pals. Yes. Yeah. The first time, we've been friends online for a little over a year now. Mm-hmm. And I was always just kind of drawn to your energy. And I realized that you alchemize energy kind of the same way I do, which is naturally you got to make people laugh. Like you just got to laugh it off. I mean, there's just that's what raises your vibration. And I've always done that my entire life. Like anytime I've ever been like sad or my friends were mad or in this situation, I always just looked for that silver lining to like make people laugh and just to kind of like get out of it, to alchemize it. Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden I was just really feeling drawn from my guides. Like, you really need to reach out to Heidi. Like you really need to reach out to her. There's something there. It's just like, I knew you. And so I think it was like 11 o'clock at night. And I was literally like sitting next to my husband. I go, I'm just going to reach out to her because I just know I have to like know her. Like I know her, but I don't know. She might think I'm weird, but I just know I know her. And so, yeah, we just started connecting. And then what was really crazy was I finally met you in person in Florida. And, I'm a lifetime experiencer and I wasn't alone in those experiences, but I had a really good friend there. And it was just like the minute I was next to your energy, it was you. Like, it was just you. And so it's like I've known you for my whole life, and we were best friends there, and we're becoming like the bestest friends now here. And so, yeah.
That's so beautiful. I'm so grateful you reached out, and I'm shout out to Starseed Adventures because I think it was our first crew speaker Zoom where we were kind of starting to watch each other in person. And then you're like, hey, do you want to do your own Zoom? Can we chit chat? Can we hang out and talk a little bit? And the connections kept going. But I do love how my Facebook memory bumps come up and you're always on the little comments. I'm like, oh my gosh, I've known Abby a long time. This is cool. And you're helping me recall some memories too. And you've really pieced together one of the most dramatic eras of my life where I thought I was going crazy. None of my family did too. And it just went click, 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 dot connected. And I just felt this peace. And now I'm letting all of these memories come in. I'm having these moments happen. And like today, for instance, I had another little ship encounter, asking you shall receive. And it was like another little wink and nod that I'm going in the right direction. So I'm grateful that this is happening. So thank you.
Absolutely. I love when the ships come in as confirmation for us. I actually reached out to you the day that it happened. This is about a week ago. I was out for a run, and this really creepy van drove by, and there was like nothing inside of it, and all like I could see through the windows. There was nothing in it, no markings on it, and this guy just stopped, and he completely turned and just looked at me. And when he did, I just like, you know how your whole body just kind of shakes like, ooh, that's not right. And I was far from my house. And I just had this feeling like he's gonna be waiting for me. He's gonna slow down and he's gonna be waiting for me. And so I did what I normally do, which is call up for my fam. I've been doing that my whole life. And it was a completely blue sky. There wasn't a single cloud out there. And even when I looked up, I go, I know there's something out there for you to like cloak behind, but I just like I need you guys like right now. Like this guy's gonna be waiting for me. And it wasn't 15, 30 seconds later, I look up, boom, it's right there. Like a cloud came in, but it was a very distinct ship that was just right there. And the minute I saw it, I connected and I heard a message from them. And I'm not gonna lie, like I started crying. I just did. And because it was emotional. It was a scout ship that came down. And as I looked down to like wipe my tears, and when I looked back up, it was gone. Like it was just like completely gone. The sky went back to being solid blue, not a single cloud. And I never saw that van again. It was completely gone.
Oh, I love that. There's so many little bits, even childhood, teen on, where I'm like, I was protected, like literally. And whether it's some Galactic fam or somebody came in and put themselves in another body to get me out of a situation, or literally a movement out of a situation, even my car. Like there's been moments where I'm like, thank you. How can I repay you? I can't. I be my best self. So I'm going to shine bright. Yeah, I was driving back. I dropped my daughter at a little play date today, and her friend lives by the Hollywood Bowl. It's kind of like the Hollywood Hills. So it was really pretty. Again, we had spray. We had some trails this morning, but what's interesting, what's been happening to them. My friend Patricia Freeman called this out. There's like these wisps that come in now. It's almost like they're getting blown away, not spreading and turning yellow, but they're like, whoosh, it's the coolest thing. So I was like, oh, that's cool. But then I'm going, am I pushing Abby? Is this the right direction? I don't want to be the annoying little friend. And then I'm like, and then I got my attention pulled up to a bright, glowing little shiny object in the sky. I'm on the 101 and it's trafficy, so I'm watching it. It wasn't dangerous. And then the light went out, but it was a kind of a U-y shape, but not like it was moving. And I'm like, is this for me? And then it went light again, and then it was totally gone. So I was like, okay, I'm going in the right direction. I love that. Yeah. It's usually in those empowering modes where I'm just feeling so centered and clear. My last was in my backyard here like 2 years ago. I had my boundaries up. I felt, I asked for, show me your present, and there they were. And then I had wonderful experiences at ECETI as well. So yeah. I feel like, I've been clearing and cleaning up myself enough to get some of these memory recalls back. And I'm thanking you as a Galactic pal that I can turn to if I have my questions. Like, did this happen?
Absolutely. And that's what's so important. That's why community is so important right now, because so many of us are just getting like little bits and pieces here and there. And I think it's just vital that we have each other, like how all of us have each other. And, and I'm going to kind of shift because, what were you asking, for that confirmation for? Is this the right direction? And this is something that, I kind of feel like this is the reason why we reconnected at this point in time in our lives. I almost feel like this is conversations that we probably had when we were kids. Like, this is what we're going to be doing, because it's really aligning. And even when, and I'm like, my whole head is like tingling right now. But like, even like where I'm kind of feeling, and I'll bring up to you, like, oh my God, I was just thinking that exactly. Like, that's exactly how I was envisioning that. And you and I are both just feeling so strongly that to bring in this platform for these Starseed kids, like it's just, it needs to happen. And there are a few people that are absolutely doing it, but I think it's really is time to bring in this platform for them, because, we just realized that it's going to have to just be us. And I don't even mean by like you and I, it's just going to have to be just like all of us, all this community coming in and helping build this platform for these children that are going to be coming in. Like, we're kind of handing it off to them. But, having a place for a voice for the parents who are just, I don't want to say the word struggle because that's not what it is, but they're just searching for someone to talk to, someone else who can relate to their experiences. And then also, having a place for these kids to go to as well.
Yeah.
Also feel, they have, mom and dad that they can talk to, but amongst their peers, helping them find other peers to talk to.
Because I'm noticing that even out here or with my kids, you're craving that community, not just open mind, mask free, vax free. We're talking using your alchemy, using their energy, feeling energy, sensing spirit in the room. We're talking about for paranormal kids, Starseed kids, crystalline kids, like this new wave of kids coming in that, there's been a system that has purposely been put in place to put the light out, take the light out of them. And we have a chance now to rebuild a new earth, and it starts with the kids. And so I know out here, we're really trying to form these little pods and communities, and we're kind of finding each other. But I know my particular kids, and from me, probably with my childhood, I'm like, no, there's a class. Like, we should be on Chit. Like, I'm craving another way. And so when you presented to me an opportunity to do something like this, to have a program and a platform for parents to turn to and families to turn to, and for the kids to find each other, it was like everything in my body was like, that's it. It was like ding, 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 ding. Cause I was like, I suck. Like my mommyhood, like I'm really like, what do I do? But this isn't right. I just couldn't follow through with what was the choices were. So I'm like, I gotta make my own choices and start from scratch. Yeah. So on that note, raising star seeds are gonna,
and here's the thing as well is, some of these kids, they have these great abilities, but really, and it's because of the society and the culture that we're in is, oh, okay, so you can see beyond the veil, or, okay, so you see spirits. All right, well, what are you gonna do with that? Then it's like, okay, moving on. Or, oh, okay, you can have, you can read the room and you can feel all the things that your peers are feeling at school. Okay. And so because it's time to take it to the next level and ask the questions, okay, why am I able to feel this? What can I do with these abilities now that I know I have them? How can I use those to further on the trajectory of my life? How can those be used to help me as a tool in my toolbox versus something that I feel, a lot of it, because it is looked at as like, oh, that's taboo and don't tell anybody about that. They're going to think you're weird. No, it's a superpower. Like, these are amazing tools and they can help you down the road. With one of my kids, there's a certain aspect that they're wanting to pursue for their profession, moving forward. And he has these channeling abilities with multidimensionals. So I told him, like, have them help you. Like, okay, you want to work in astrophysics, or you want to work in, quantum physics. They already know. Have them channel through. Don't rely on teachers here. You can talk to them, like, use them, have them explain it to you. And it's just about really, it's giving them the opportunities to do that. So, my one child, they want to go into advanced physics. And so I bought this college level book, and I don't understand that at all. I always say, like, I talk to dragons. I'm not techie. Like, And so, I gave them the book, and because it's about being exposed. And when I handed it to him, I said, work with one of his guides. And, I'm not going to out it because it's his guide. But I said, work with them and then have them correct it. Ask if it's right. And by page 3, he came and found me. He goes, so he already came in and this was wrong. And he changed it. And this is what it actually should be.
That's awesome. Yes.
And this is how the tools that we can give them as to how, okay, you have these abilities, you can access these different higher parts. Okay, so how can we use this moving forward? How is this going to benefit us? Currently why we're in 3D right now, but we're going to be jumping into 5D. So how are we going to use them there? It's just giving and finding these other starseed kids, because it's just normal. That is normal.
Yes. Yes. And with telepathy getting so strong, they'll have like instant pen pals. they're right. We're normalizing the thinning of the veil. I'm trying to normalize with them now. Like they're learning the vocabulary of it all, and they're able to express a little more when they're feeling something present in the room. And I know my son, when he was young, he dealt with, now I don't know if he was fighting some battles and what he was doing, but it was night terrors galore. So he's you can talk crystals, you can talk copper pyramids, like he's picking up on the vocabulary of it all, and that he's almost afraid, like I actually can like change the energy in my room myself, like the power is in his hands. So he's kind of like getting into that. My daughter's so super sensitive, but definitely elemental and animal, and I'm like, they're going to communicate with you. So she literally has full conversations with our animals without saying anything. It's beautiful. And I'm like, it's working.
It's so funny that you bring that up, because that's another thing we have in common. Both of us, our daughters are the same exact age. Actually, both of our daughters were the reason why you and I like chose to go down the rabbit hole of waking up with the fake jabbies. All that stuff is our daughters. But the same thing, she wants to be a veterinarian as well. Like she loves animals, and she also has abilities and so we were talking, and she was, well, I don't want to go into like Western medicine with animals, because she understands as well, what's going on. And I said, think out of the box. Maybe your role with being a veterinary is you can be the empath, like you can be the telepathic communicator, and then you can actually be their voice when they are with a dog.
Yes.
You can, so I always teach them, like, okay, how can we use all of your natural abilities that you came down here with, that you chose to have? How can we now use these to the benefit, for the rest of your life, because you have them? So why are we trying to like hide them into a box?
Ooh, I love it. I'm excited already. I have goosebumps. Well, it was funny because I had a conversation yesterday. I went to this event, and all types of people, but they were really, it was great. It was an engaging conversation. They were talking about regular school and public school, and why is there this level algebra? There's a meme going around this. Why isn't there a class on like rent and budgeting and taking out a loan and the basics? And then I'm like, and like Hogwarts, learn how to like read people's minds and stuff. And they're like, I'm like, ooh, wrong crowd. but they're the parents at least are like, something's not working. That's why I always am thankful for CV, because this was a year I think a lot of parents reflected, and they were like, what's happening with our kids in school? So at least people are raising questions about it. But I know for this past year, a lot of people like us have been finding each other,
Yeah. But no, I mean, I agree with you. It is finally, parents looking around and be like, okay, yeah, it's not normal that all these children are clinically depressed and suicidal and have anxiety, issues. It's not normal. It's not, and I don't even say it's not healthy. Like there is an underlying issue. And I agree with you, this past, over a year, it's really finally made people take the pause, because they were forced to. And this is one of the beauties of what's been going on, is they can really digress, like, okay, like it's almost like taking stock of our lives, of really taking stock of what this institution that we have created in our society, why are we doing this? And oh wow, we just found a completely different way. And I actually can work from home and be with my kids and slow things down, and not everything did go combust. I mean, I know that obviously, for some it did, but they found a lot of beauty and grace throughout it.
Oh, so. 100%. And pulling up their bootstraps, and they're like, well, I'm gonna do it myself. That's what's been happening. And I'm like, I want to do it myself to the 100th degree. I wanted to tell you, I have to move my little contact. There's a lot of little chit chats and howdies for you and for us. Anita. Hi, Anita, neighbor.
Hello,
Anita in the house. Jermaine in the house.
Hello, Jermaine.
Jermaine. I want to see. Oh, there's my swords back there, Jermaine. I told him once I had my little swords. I'm gonna have. They're like old school. That's the only good thing, other than my kids, I got from my kid's dad. They're like ancient-y things. Michael Fever and Julie Porter. Julie Porter saying hi. I wanted to say, here's Julie Porter. Much love to you. Much love to you, Julie. Yeah. I'm missing you. But there is one down here that I was having a moment with. Okay. Shadow banning's crazy now. It totally is, Jermaine. They're trying to enslave kids and brainwash them into prisoners. To be honest, I don't think that's anything new. But yeah, they're the stronghold. It's getting tighter.
Well, you know, I'm going to say, at least right now, I mean, it's apparent for everyone to see it. How the end goal was the children. It's always about the kids.
Yeah, totally. We saw that 20 years ago. I saw that. It was a teacher in Chicago. It was in the late 90s. And that's when like Adderall and things like that were introduced. And I'll never forget this sweet little boy. I was a preschool teacher at 5. It wasn't in my class, but he was a little busy. He was busy, but he also had parents divorcing and they were in the public eye. And so we had compassion for him. But one day he came in and he was just a robot. All the teachers were in the break room crying and we got notification that this is his medication. The light went out. And it was like my heart, I left the teaching altogether and I'm like, this isn't the way it's supposed to go, you know? And then of course, having become a parent, I'm like, I want to change it up.
Yeah.
This, I'm just going to put this on because I didn't want to look so weird. Maybe you can help me read it better. Oh yeah. The skull technology converting memories between species. Oh, Neuralink thinks they control reincarnated dinosaurs. Oh, interesting.
I've gone into a session once and there was Neuralink going on in the brain of one of my clients. Yeah.
From vaccine damage there. I shouldn't even say it. They pulled my last vaccine video.
You just said it again, Heidi.
I know. Shoot. Well,
I just call it the hokey pokey. That's my new name for it now.
Hokey pokey. I thought I was being smart with vaccines, but they got me. The funny thing is that in the YouTube, they pulled it and all we were using was the scientific data, not only from websites, but from Ivy League schools, from doctors, like just their data. We didn't say pros or cons. We were sharing data and it was taken. So we're over. But back to the kids. So we have our little YouTube channel. We've already taped a few times. We've had special guests and speakers that are being part of the solution. They're either out there in the school system, helping with the meditations, and we're trying to bring on special guests.
Yeah, we have one guest. She works with the sacred womb. So, that 4th trimester, because, as you realize with consciousness and, just being like light beings and, we're all connected in this way. When we heal ourselves, we heal our children, we heal our ancestors before us, and so that's part of that sacred womb healing is, as we work on ourselves and it'll just naturally hand down to the children, working them because, when you're sharing that DNA, even the womb, like they can inherit parts of you in that trauma. And so that's why it's so important that we are working on ourselves. I feel really passionate. And this is a beautiful way that Heidi, like you and I, have just kind of synced up because I've always really been drawn and pulled towards, I want to work with the parents. I just
thinking, I'm like, I hope she brings that up. Okay.
I feel really drawn. I want to work with that parents. I see a lot of breakout sessions, just, bringing in and talking to the sacred womb healer and working about that 4th trimester for adults, for women. And, Heidi, that's another thing that you and I do have in common is, we both deal with, womb issues.
Yes.
Yeah. But, we can talk about in a second. And then Heidi, you're so driven and drawn towards the children and doing that.
Yes. Ever since I was a kid, I knew that's why I was always in entertainment, but I had that parent in me, get a real job, I'm like, well, I want to be a teacher. And they're like, not that one. But having worked with the kids, it's brings me alive. I'm just joyous. Not only with the entertainment, but just corralling their energy. And it's time to bring it back. And I thought I was meant to lead a pod here, and it's not the right time. It's not the right community. But this particular community that we're going to be growing, can I say that sorry, microphone.
Heidi.
The not only a YouTube outlet, with these guest speakers, but our intention is to grow and have gatherings and like a camp, not only for the kids, but for the parents. Yeah. And so it's going to be a platform that has multiple resources. And I'm really excited to put together some kid activities in that sense. And, we may very well be seen at a very popular ranch next spring, summer.
Yes, we're putting that out there to manifest that.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, because that's what it is, as we're excited to do the interviews and having that type of a media platform, but really, the goal is to be having these gatherings, because, most of these parents already feel alone and isolated. So even though the information is great to be receiving and hearing at home, still at home and essentially alone. And so the goal is to come and start creating these gatherings where we can meet, the kids can meet, the parents can meet. And it's not that like you and I don't have all the answers. I don't know, like this is just going to have to flow, but it has to start somewhere. And so this is like the jumping off point, and we're going to be bringing in other beautiful souls within the community, to help us and work this. And, it's one of those where it takes a village to figure this out, but it has to start, kind of somewhere.
Oh, most definitely. Did you want to go into the womb stuff?
Sure.
Well, I know we both got triggered yesterday by the leak from USA Today. Not even a leak, that just disclosure of Netflix. It was just like, it was offensive,
it was just such a smack in the face of what is an actual reality for some, poor souls that are on this planet. It was just a blatant, disgraceful smack in the face of the abomination. I'm sorry, I got really upset from it yesterday.
Oh, sure. Because they're trying to turn it into a freak show. Well, and seed the consciousness of it's just a show, and it's like,
but if you also, it's more than that. If you look at the language, it was like trying, like, look how adorable they are, and look how cute they are, and try, no, it's not. For the people who are in the know, who know what is going on in these underground tunnels on other planets, what they're doing with these experimentation, these hybrids are building, these children are in intense pain. Like, it is the most awful way to be born, to live, to die. And they're trying to make it this, oh, look how cute they are. Can you imagine having your own little hybrid baby? Are you kidding me? And I'm not talking about like hybrids, how, with different, I'm talking about when they're taking a specific animal in a human hybrid. I mean, they try to do this back in like the Atlantean time. I mean, it's just every time that we come in and we try to play source and, thinking that we know better, it never goes to plan.
No. And yeah, we're not talking about, I don't think, like our Galactic fam.
Yeah.
We're not talking about that. We're talking about nefarious agendas.
Yes.
The upside down inverted word of it all. But that's some stuff been preparing myself mentally and physically to have more memory recall, but there's trauma involved in the room. And I'm trying to tap into my own Akashic, but any reading I have had, there's been series of every lifetime there's my womb's been taken advantage of over and over again. And sure enough, in this lifetime as well too. But it's a sensitive subject. And I know I have a couple of gal pals out here, and even my mother, that have gone through what appears to be hybrid stolen. And, but I don't know. I'm feeling, I don't want to go dark. I'm like, wait.
Honestly, I'll give a very positive story.
Okay.
I've never shared it before. It was extremely personal. So, I'm not going to go deep into it. But for my womb issues, I had a series of surgeries, and there was just still a piece left. I was still in a lot of pain. I felt like I had a dagger in my internal body, and I just, everything else was feeling great. I was working out constantly. I had changed the diet. I was doing all kinds of like skin rubs, essential oils, and I had cured, because when I went to the doctor, their only option left for me was to take a pill, which was chemo. I mean, it wasn't, it was the old chemo they used for ovarian cancer.
Okay.
And cancer. And so obviously, you know, I avoided that. So I did my research and did everything, but there was still just this one piece, and it just felt like a dagger was inside of me.
Oh,
And it was just, you know, it was in the back of my head, like, God, if I could just get this, if I could just, you know, heal from that.
Mm-hmm.
And, I woke up at 5 a.m. because I literally, my water broke. Like, it felt like my water broke. And went to the shower, clearly see I had been surgically prepped. And ever since then, I've had zero pain. It's completely gone. Completely gone.
Wonderful.
So I know that my family did that for me.
Aww.
100%. So, you know, there's always positives.
Oh, didn't you say there was a pause in time that you were not exactly connected and you're just busy in your life, and they were like, we gotta let you do your thing, girl. Yep. But isn't that interesting? The second, you know, when you needed that divine medical help, they're there.
Yeah, and it's been 3 years since that happened, and nothing. I mean, it's never nothing. So.
Aww. Well, I'm happy to hear that.
Yeah.
Do your kids call? You said they call in their own guides now. They have their own guides.
Yeah. It's actually really funny. My oldest, she's actually really close to family members, like past loved ones. So when she was a really little kid, my grandmother, whom she never met, came in. Oh my gosh, she must have seen her for almost 2 years. And, you know, she helped her at nighttime. Like when we lost a pet, my grandmother would literally walk in her room in the middle of the night and bring the pet in to see her, and, you know, let her know I'm taking care of it. And so, I mean, the things that she told me that my grandmother shared with her, there was no way on God's green earth that she would ever know it unless my grandmother had shared it. And, you know, now my grandfather, whom I never even met, but he now comes in and works with her a lot. So, you know, it's really funny. My kids are older now, and this is almost the point where we are at in our house. I was just being drawn to go outside. Like, the energy was just really high. And so I walked on my front door and I just looked up. I'm like, oh my God, like the sky was just so full. And I knew something was over in my bushes. Like, I just knew I was being watched. Something was in my bushes outside. And so I came inside and I told the kids, I said, just let you know, they're out there. So it's up to you if you want to protect your space. But I think one of us is getting taken tonight. I don't know who.
Are they like, yay, or whoa?
No, they're just, you know, it's just part of, it is what it is, you know. And so, you know, the next morning, like we all woke up, and my one child, because the one way that they know that they've been taken is they get awful nosebleeds because the pressurization changed. And, you know, the next morning, sure enough, they woke up and they said, it was me. It's great. I had the worst bloody nose this morning.
Oh. Do they have any memory recall, or do they have any recall of Chip being up?
Yes. So my one daughter, the same ship that we were on, Heidi, when we were kids. It's the same group.
Oh, it's a school. Is it a school? That's what I picture. Is this?
I mean, it's part of it. There's definitely,
yeah. I mean, it's massive, but it's the window. When you gave me an image of this window and being out on this, it's like, it's coming in. I'm so excited.
That's where we would hang out, like in between, like the break times that they would give us, you know, in between classes, they would give us like free time. And so like you and I would go and explore. And yeah, so that's my memory. But it's so funny because I don't remember your face. I remember seeing you from the back because you were much taller than I was. And so like I remember like the dark hair and these long skinny legs that you had. But like, as you know, I can share one. As I share with you, Heidi, my memory was they always came and got me first. And then I remember being, you know, at the huge glass window, and there was like this like kind of a railing right there. And I'm standing with who like I still talk with all the time now. And I was like tapping my fingers, and every time I'm like, are we there yet? Are we there yet? Are we there yet? Because I always knew like they got me first, and then we went up north and we got you.
I loved it so much. I wanted to share with some of the peeps. It's just part of the coincidence. The reason that all of it resonates and why I'm starting to get so many recalls is Abby gave me specifically our dates, our times, and it all lines up with where I was, my dates, my times, what was happening in my life, how I couldn't wait to be alone in my room and go to sleep. Like I was new to a town. I was at the nurse's office like every day. No one knew what was wrong with me, but I was just like this isn't my home, you know. But I'm like, now it all makes sense. And then when you describe the pet, I'm like, I can picture it. And now I get it. I get it. I get why I had these situations as a child growing, and it's glorious. It's beautiful. And I thank you for that, Abby.
Well, it's just so crazy, Heidi. The more like when you and I are connecting the dots, how much we have in common. It's
oh my gosh.
Even like not only just like physically, like in our bodies, everything that we have in common, but just the points along our lives, how it just lines up. And like you were saying, even like we're on two totally separate coasts, but they're like exactly a lot.
You could put a ruler. Yeah. Charleston, Los Angeles, like hold for plane for Black Ops, hold for Black Ops.
Yeah, and then like even how so I mean there was some night terrors, and you know that was involved, and what's crazy is even how you and I like how we handled those, and it was the same exact thing, like how we reacted in our rooms, like the rituals that we would almost do for like protection, and it's just
we had the same blueprint. It's almost like our Galactic fam set were helping us because we're in the same team how to cope. And then the ways we chose coping mechanisms, like in our 20s, when we probably weren't connecting right away with them, but we were going through very similar situations. Our choices, you know, a lot of situations where I'm not surprised we made it out of, but most people don't. And so it's just like, I'm like, holy smokes. And it's a 6-year difference, right? It was, we're 6 years, I'm 6 years older, but it was at Starseed Adventures and Cocoa Beach. And you had already told me a little bit of the story, you just said, I'm excited to meet you. And so I remember when you came out, I was like, like in the flesh, but there was a moment I was there and I was my back and you're like, tap, tap, tap. We had already met. But so I'm like, didn't think anything of it. I turned around and you just started weeping because you had seen me from the back. And when I had turned to see you, it was a moment of like, hi, friend. And I'm like, but I just met you. But I was really like turning around into this. It was divine. It was divine. Yep. And but shout out to Starseed Adventures. Thank you for bringing us together, which will be together there again in Sedona in October.
Yes. I'm so looking forward to that. I love that. Yes.
But I hope to see you before that. I'm going to try to get my butt to ECETI because I think you'll be there in July.
Yes, I'll be there in July, and I'm really hoping that you'll be there too.
Yeah, I will make it happen. Patricia in the house. Patricia Freeman, I really want you to meet Abby, and she's somebody I thought we should bring on Raising Starseed. She and her oldest daughter had an interaction with a living light ship. It's a story I want her to be able to share, but it's not long ago. And she has a really interesting, it relates back to when she was younger and it was a recall and it happened. But I'm just giving her a little shout out.
I've heard, Patricia, I have heard your name multiple times from Heidi. So yeah, I cannot wait to have her on the show.
I see her on the thread. I'm like, yay. I'm getting giddy. See, all this little crazy energy is coming in now. I'm picturing it all. Oh my gosh. I'm surprised things aren't fritzing out.
I know. I mean, it's you can just feel that it's going, not only has it been pre-planned for probably decades, Heidi, you know, between us. It's I mean, it's probably even before we came in here. But we know that it's gonna be divinely protected. It's gonna be divinely, you know, laid out, geared towards flow. It's just going to flow because the time is right for this to be happening. Yeah.
And our galactic pals, because with us being together as children and the classes and courses, I'm not surprised we both now want to teach children. Like I think we were given the tools and the path to be able to do this now. And now's the time that it's going to happen, and it's happening.
Yeah.
So it's very, very cool. So I am excited for people to check that out.
Yeah.
So we are going to have to launch that soon, huh?
Yes, that will get done. That will get done very, very soon. So yeah. And again,
no, go ahead. Jermaine, we're on the home stretch of the ET disclosure war, it appears.
Yes.
Are they going to still control the narrative though, Mr. Jermaine? The ET disclosure of it all. You know, I'm finding out here in Los Angeles area, the lobotomized zombie apocalypse has risen. And so it was funny. There's a meme about it. It's like, oh boy, CV is over. You know, what else could be? Look, aliens. And nobody flinches. So they're like, yeah, you know, I'm finding that. And everybody's like, meh. I'm like, this is like, what? Yeah. So the timelines are totally split out here. Oh, that's what I was going to say. I think this is where I was getting. So, and did I tell you my Costco story last week or 2 weeks, right before I hosted that big gathering out here?
Oh, was it? Yeah, you went there to get a cake for it, right?
Yes. Yeah, it was so funny. But like 60 people came. It was really cool. But I walked, everything's totally normal. Like I really have crazy eyes. And interesting fun side note, fun fact, I have been asking Galactic fans, like, can you please help me with my eyeballs? Like I'm really tired of being the glasses contact gal. And I'm most comfortable without anything now. It's like my eyes are retraining. But I was wearing my regular contacts. I have no problem with. I drive. I'm wearing them now. And I'm getting into Costco and it's blurry. I'm like shaking my head. I'm moving my contacts aside. I'm like, is this a cart? And things are like heavy. Like I feel like I'm pushing through mush as I'm going around. And my eyesight was like blurry and it was going in and out. And I felt myself just going like, and I'm like, get everything you got to get. Let's go. And then I'm at checkout. I'm like, oh my God, is this brain aneurysm? Like what's going on? And then I get out of there like, woof, and I get to my car and my eyes are fine. So I'm like, it's like I'm just swimming around the Matrix living shells at the moment.
It's tough. I went to the grocery store for the first time today. Oh my God, I can't remember last time I went to the grocery store. Mm-hmm. And because I've been having my groceries delivered.
Me too.
I just don't really, I don't want to feel everything that everyone is going through. And it's just, you know, a neg bomb. Yeah. But so I finally went to the grocery store today and midway through, I got the most mind numbing headache. And then as we're like waiting for the checkout, I had my girls with me and they're like, are you okay, Mom? I'm like, I feel like my head's going to explode. Like I cannot deal with this. And it's just like, boom, it just came in and around. Yes. Yeah.
It doesn't feel good.
It doesn't feel good. Yeah.
No.
And I must say, there's maybe only like 6 people in the entire store that had a covering on today. So that's that's a huge bonus.
Oh, I was the only one in Costco without. And I have a little video because I have that see-through scarf that I've worn all year. And I'm like, let's just try this out. Bloop, dropped it. And I'm like, la, 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 5 seconds. Ma'am, gotta put your face covering on. I go, I do? I go, you know, this is over, right? As I put it, and they're like, it's not, ma'am. I go, oh, but it is. It's been over for a year. And I'm like, and then I'm starting to feel snarky and Scorpio. I'm like, don't, Heidi, just get out of the store. Because there wasn't one smile. Like, I wasn't around my peeps. You know, sometimes you can see someone and be like, yes, hi, I got you. And this was like, I'm alone. I just need this cheap cake.
Just let me get the food and leave.
Yeah, like just let me get out of there. But it's interesting because for 15 years, grocery shopping was my career. Like I worked as a snack lady on set, and so I've grocery shopped. I knew those places in and out. I hugged managers. Like I gave Christmas cards to them. Like that's what I did. And now I'm like, I can't even go into a store without getting reactions. Yeah. So the cleanup is still, you know. We got a lot of way to go. Long way to go.
Well, you know, it's just so interesting. Just think about like with your eyesight, I've been having issues with my eyes lately as well. And, you know, we've been getting smoked between the Schumann, the solar storms. I mean, it's just coming everywhere. And, you know, I kept having moments, and my kids did too, where like our eyes would just kind of go like just blurry. It was just like a film would come over them, and I would like blink and I would like rub them like, oh my God, what is this? Do I need to go to the eye doctor?
That's
And
it.
then like 5-10 minutes later, whoop, my like perfect, because I have 20/20 vision, and like, okay, my vision is back to normal again. And so I was out finally, and I was asking about my eyes, like what's going on with my eyes, and they said like your eyes are being upgraded, like all of our eyes are being upgraded right now. There's just so much going on below the surface, even just within our own bodies. And I've been noticing lately, like I don't have any like zero appetite. You know, I'm pretty much doing like 20-hour fasts every single day, but I'm like retaining everything right now, and I don't know why. It's like my whole body is retaining, and I'm working out and mainly doing fluids, and it's just like I'm retaining everything. So I'm like really trying to kind of like key in like, why am I just like holding? And sometimes when there's a holding, it's because just getting ready for this big release. I don't know what that is, but I'm also trying something out new tomorrow. My husband's been doing it for a week. It's where you do the cryogenic, like the freeze tanks.
Yes. Do you have one? Or are you going somewhere or?
No. So this studio that's about 5 miles from my house, they brought in the tank. They also have the full, it's like a salt booth. So it's not like a bath. You stand in there and like the ceiling, the wall, the whole thing is salt. And then you're like getting misted with salt.
Ooh.
Whole minutes. And that helps you detoxify.
What if you just jump in the ocean? That'd be cold.
I do have an ocean here, even though I like hardly ever go. It's pathetic. And then so cool. Doing the cryogenic, and then the next day you do a polar plunge, and it's 40-degree water tank, and you sit there for as long as you can take it.
Wow. Wow. Well, that's ancient, isn't it? We have a lot of Korean spas. I love those. So you do the tea dip, the hot dip, the cold dip. It's like you're like a little egg dipping around, but you leave it. It's a beauty. It's like, oh.
So it's so funny because so much of what they're bringing out now, it's not cutting edge. Like we're going back. To the original knowledge. Even when we start bringing in these, dealing with like light in these med beds. I mean, my God, like they use med beds in Egypt. I already had Todd come through and explain that to me. They had med beds back then. So we're just, we're going back to what we originally had when we were. I mean, there have been multiple advanced civilizations on this planet. And then it's just like we've had thousands of years of just absolute muckery. And yeah.
Well, then isn't that so cool then that now we're going to be raising these star seeds to learn all this and just normalize that tech, bring it all back. So it's just this brand new wave. I feel like that. It's like this wave of awesomeness coming up and the sludge is going, it's falling away.
I did a dip in on someone's child, and what came back was it was strong Native American, but so they came here and had these lifetimes here where they were really connected, and from their higher self, they're explaining to me is that they came down here to be connected, to see what was needed. And then they went and had all these lifetimes in the Galactic, gaining in all of this wisdom. So then now they're back here now, and they're going to implement. It was like, okay, like I'm going to have these lifetimes to figure out what this planet is needing to heal and to clear. And then I'm going to go. Then they went out and amassed all of the information, and they embedded it into their DNA, and they brought it down here. And it's just like literally just waiting for them to ignite, and they're going to bring in all of this information, all of this technology. Like I keep on seeing like there's this wall, and like once we get here, like so many of us are just gonna be like on, like all of this information that we have downloaded into ourselves for this moment is just gonna be like click, 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 and we're just gonna know. We know what we're here for and what we're supposed to be doing. It is going to be us, but we are going to be having the help of our galactic family. Like they're going to be physically here with us, helping it, but it's still going to be us doing it. So.
It's I had a flash of I watched you on Alara, and you did a beautiful job. I loved seeing both of you guys together. But you made this reference that was so visual. You're so good with your storytelling, I just have to tell you. But just your delivery. But about Abraham Lincoln. Like just taking the parts that you need at that time. But now I'm thinking about whole entire generations of people that have come back down with so much at once. That's what I was picturing then.
Yeah, I mean, but it's accurate. It's what's going to happen. And it is. It's just going to be this unlocking of ourselves, what we've all, our souls, I mean, my God, we're such brilliant souls. And we just knew, like, the little pieces, the little keys, the little, information that we're going to need. And it's just going to unlock, and it's going to be incredible. I can't wait for it.
Well, on that note, because it's kind of, we're about 10-minute home stretch, really. On that note, that's what we're doing. We're unlocking our mission. We're according to Matthew Morning, stepping into our mission.
Yeah.
But this whole thing with educating parents and bringing the children together and raising these star seeds. So I'm super excited about that being my mission that I'm going to focus on. And of course, my Care Bear Earth shares, because everybody needs to giggle.
Everyone has to laugh. I mean, it is like, even sometimes, we can get really serious and all this stuff is going on, and yeah, there's changes, but really at the end of it, we're just still here supposed to have fun.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. There still is such thing as a 3D geopolitical shit show. Like, it's intended to keep you arguing, fighting, talking, staying down here, when they're like sitting up there like, are you ready?
Are you ready? That's exactly what they're doing. They're like, we're just here waiting for you.
That's why the ship today, it's like, start, stop. I'm going to write Abby. Oh, no, delete it. She's busy. Oh, Abby, never mind. And I'm like, damn it, I'm going to do this. And I'm like, am I going the right way? Here's your little ship, Heidi Pop. And I'm like, I'm going the right way.
Yep.
Oh, I'm so excited. Well, so much more to come. Look at all this love, Jermaine. Thank you so much. If y'all could help me with my eyeballs so I don't have to wear anything during these, this would be great. That'll be the next round, because I'm kind of like, okay. I love all the love. I can't wait to read all these too when we're done. Well, but in that note, I guess, I did do a banner for you. I know how to do that.
Yeah, we are going to, we will, I'm going to say the word deposit. I don't know why that just came in my head. We're going to deposit our first video, but really our first video is just kind of an intro to, you and I, a little bit of.
Is that the fly one? Is that the one with the fly? I was like, now I'm just getting giddy.
I remember I told you, like, for some reason I decided, like, on our very first YouTube video, like the number one, I just wore like a workout shirt.
Oh yeah. I didn't even notice. You're so stunning. And I was in my kitchen because I didn't have my Wi-Fi for my little new back house podcast area. So I had flies, I had children running around.
Well, who knows? Maybe we can redo that one.
We'll see. You have it, so you let me know. But are you still taking sessions? I know you're so booked out with sessions and things. Do you still take healing sessions? Because I wanted to do your little, this is where you can find Miss Abby LYNN right now, but I know you're pretty booked out. So people can at least,
yes.
I know everyone and their mother is watching because of you right now. So anyway, so they all know you.
Please stop it. Yeah, I am still doing sessions, but yeah. I've been trying to do a lot. I had the most beautiful medium friend. Oh, she will always be so special in my soul. Her name was Dee Cryer in Ohio, near Columbus. And she was just the most important part to myself and my family. And, and she taught me something, that how important when you are working with spirit and you are doing this, how important it is to always have that quiet, like, just step back alone time, that reflectory time. So yeah, I do sessions, but I always make sure that I'm having, like, these breaks, because I do, like, I don't want to, and I can't always be like connecting, because I do have to step back. And everyone who does this work, like, just step back and just be, like, within your own space for a while. So yeah, so it's
important.
Yeah.
Because not only we're mothers, we're wives, business owners, all these things, but how can we make all those things work if we're not taking care of ourselves first?
Yeah.
So yeah, the mommy alone time, it's a thing here. That's why I hijacked the back house. I'm like, this is my clubhouse. I don't have what's it called? The men's lounge or what did they call it? There was a name. Now I got my ladies lounge.
The man cave.
The man cave.
So you
Pop's place. I got Pop's place.
You put yourself a little she shed.
That's it. She shed. And it kind of looks and feels and smells like a shed.
I love that.
Cool. Well, we got this ball rolling. So raising starseeds on deck, ladies and gentlemen.
And please,
good intents out there.
For anyone who's listening, if there's something that you guys want to like see covered or addressed, or if you want to come on and chitty chat with Heidi and I, please reach out to us.
Mm-hmm.
Because like it takes a village. Like it takes all of us. Like this isn't like the Heidi and Abby like show. We have all the answers, because that's not it at all.
We're stepping into a mission. Yep. Like it's happening. Yep. And I even had this calling to say, whether even you have kids or not, because we're all nurturers and we're all wayshowers for children. Someone's going to have kids around you, in your family, or you're going to be running into them. I think it's just imperative to get this mindset going of bringing in the new earth and how we're doing that and what we're showing them. So, yeah.
I love it. 100%.
Well, shout out to you on the East Coast, Miss Abby Lynn. Thanks for playing.
Absolutely.
We'll sound it off and we'll make them beg for more. But let me see if there's one more little thing on here. And we figured this out. Thank you so much, Jermaine. He's enjoying. Oh, thanks, Jermaine. So we met. Oh, yeah. We were at Contact in the Desert 18. And we didn't know it. And you said you brought your mom, right? Because my mom used to bring me to all those things too.
I know, yeah.
You were like, not yet.
Yep. I do all the fun stuff with my mom. So awesome. I wish she could come to ECETI this year. She just still isn't in like the best place physically. She's recovering from some cancer stuff, but as soon as she is all on the mend, she'll be at the conferences with me. She'll be in, definitely the goal is for Sedona. So
yay! I'm trying to get my mom too, because if I am going to help with snacky snacks, my mom might be my assistant.
Love it.
Yeah. We'll see though. Yay. Okay, cool. Well, thank you. And I can't wait to bring our kids together and see what magic happens. Thanks everybody for playing. That just felt like such a bum rush of awesomeness. I'm really super duper grateful. We've had a lot of support here. So thank you. Thank you, Abby Lynn. And see you on for 2 seconds so we can gossip.
Okay.
See you later, everybody. Thanks for playing.